This comment tells me you did not listen to understand, you listened to respond. So let me say this one more time and very clearly. Even if you could produce evidence that your God exists, I wouldn't be a Christian. Producing evidence would make me a theist, but it wouldn't make me a Christian. To convince me to worship your God, you have to produce evidence that he's good. I understand that you believe God exists, that in your reality, there is enough evidence to prove a God exists. To you, that is reality. I also fully understand that we don't choose our beliefs. We can't force ourselves to believe something. You believe a God exists because you've been convinced. Now, I don't think you've been convinced for good reasons. I don't think your standard of evidence is very high, and I definitely think you need some more skepticism in your life. But I acknowledge that you really do believe him to be real. For you, God's existence is a reality. But your God existing is not the same thing as him being good. Your God existing is not the same thing as him being worthy of worship. Belief is not a choice, but action is, and worship is an action. You choose to worship your God. You choose to believe that a God that would genocide the entire world is good. You choose to believe that a God that would create hell is good. You choose to believe that it is good that most of humanity will end up in hell and that every single human deserves it. Those are ethical choices that you make, and those are separate than your belief in a God. And you don't seem to understand that. You know how I know? Because you responded to me with a threat. You told me that I can frame it however I want, but I'm still gonna have to face the reality of hell. But my friend, threats don't work when we're talking about ethics. I am ethically opposed to your God. I am ethically opposed to bowing the knee to a monster. I have looked at your God and decided not just that I don't see evidence that he's real. I also have decided that even if I'm wrong, I wouldn't worship him. So responding to me with, yeah, well, you're wrong, he does exist, will never convince me to worship him. Because my worship is not just dependent upon his existence, it's also dependent upon his goodness. Which means that threats will not work. They will never work. If you want us to worship your God, you're gonna have to convince us he's good.